Ladies and gentlemen, please start stamping those feet. Clap those hands. Cheer. Go wild. Go crazy. For the one, the only, Deage Paxton!
All good? How was the break? Good stuff. Thank you all so much for coming. Just so you know, this is a preview. You know, there might be some things that are a bit rough around the edges, but you did pay £3, so get yourself a seat there. Jake was very nice. Okay. Had a good break? Yeah. Did somebody answer over there while I was looking down? That's alright. No, listen. A lot of time when I do comedy, it's normally in like a pub for like 3 people who think you're a prick, and they're right, you know. But I look around tonight, you know, and I see all these beautiful, enthusiastic faces, and I have to say, you know, it makes me feel really uncomfortable. So if you be less enthusiastic, make this more difficult, that would really help me out. Okay, that's great. Thank you very much. So I had a joke happen to me in real life the other day. Like start to finish, requires no editing at all. I'll tell you what's happened. Okay, I was having sex with my girlfriend. Right? It's not the bit. I was having sex with my girlfriend, and after we finished, I was in the shower afterwards. I was in the shower, and this thought, I'm thinking to myself, you know, like, yeah, I don't think she had an orgasm during that, you know? And you don't know me, but I usually try and help her out with that if I can. So after I got in the shower, I came back to the bedroom and asked her, I'm like, hey, did you have an orgasm during that? And with a complete straight face, she goes, yeah. And I go, when? And she goes, while you were in the shower. And I was like, oh shit, that's too funny. I'm gonna have to open with that. That's not gonna be. Yes, just give me a cheer if you are a close friend or family. Give me a cheer if you're not. People, just so you know, my name is, in case you don't know, my name is Deage. I am in a relationship. Sorry, ladies. I saw you checking me out. You know, I know you're thinking, man, like to give me a slice of that carrot cake. You know? You didn't want to say about gingers, though, don't you? Once you go ginger, you never feel clean again. You know? One thing I like to do at the kind of start of the show, just to kind of get a feel of the room. Just give me a cheer if you want to hear some dirty jokes. Give me a cheer if you want to hear some clean jokes. So I was masturbating in the shower the other day. So I can already see a couple of judgmental looks, you know, from some of the women, you know. And enjoy your long bats, you fucking hypocrites. I learned 2 very important things. You know, number 1, if you mix water and cum, you'll never be able to scrub it off your foot. And number two, a masturbating in the show is a lot of fun at home, but if you do it at the gym, they will revoke your membership. I was accidentally chasing a child the other day. I'll tell you what's happening, okay? I'll tell you what's happening. I was going to get the train, and there was a little girl in front of us. As we're heading down the stairs towards the platform, she starts to pick up a walk. So I started to pick up my walk, because I thought she had heard the train. So she begins to jog, I begin to jog. She begins to sprint, I begin to sprint. We reach the bottom of the platform, and there's no train. Just a terrified looking 12-year-old. And it definitely didn't help that I was naked. You guys online? I'm online. One of the things I like to do when I'm online, I like to post up like little videos, stand-up like little clips, you know. Check this out, right? I recently posted up a video and I got over 10,000 views. Listen, I know that there are people who get far more many views in the videos, right? But those numbers mean a lot to me because it took fucking ages to watch it that many times. I went to the opera for the first time recently. Didn't know anything about opera, right? But one thing I did learn is they fucking hate it if you sing along. Especially if you're doing what you think is Italian. Turns out you're just doing the blatant racist with an accent. Have any fans of audiobooks in tonight? I fucking love audiobooks, man. I think one of the only real problem with audiobooks is they can make you feel way more intelligent than you actually are, you know? Because you can go through like a book a month and then you start telling people, you know, like, I am reading. So much recently. You're not reading shit, right? And when I realized I was mainly listening to I was going to bed, right? So it's really less that I'm practicing the discipline of reading and absorbing the nutritional content of each book, and more I'm just willing to pay £8 a month to have an actual grown-up real to me as I fall asleep. The thing is, I've been doing this for so long now, like now, I literally can't sleep without a bedtime story. Like I need it. We got any people in who went to university? Give me a share. People, which university did you go to? Northumbria, very nice. Got any other Northumbrians in tonight? You got any Newcastle people in tonight? Did you hear how posh the second one was? Yeah, I made a lot of mistakes to be here tonight. I went to university for 3 years in a row. I didn't pass a single year. The best thing about failing 3 years in a row in university is that you then get to decide whether or not you want to go and do your master's in failure. Seriously, I got into thousands of pounds of debt. You know, like I spent thousands of pounds on my education. And you know how I spent those thousands of pounds on my education? Writing jokes about getting cum on my foot. That's about it. And the worst thing is, I kind of think it's worth it. Good joke. Can I cheer yesterday if you're a fan of time travel jokes? I've decided I'm going to invent time travel, right? I'm going to come right back to this night, right back to this moment. I'm going to stand in the back of the room and I'm going to shout something obscene. That's disappointing. You shouldn't listen to everything everybody tells you. You know? Like a lot of people will tell you shouldn't use cotton buds because they can affect your hearing. You know. Which is ridiculous, because I've been using cotton buds for years, and my hearing's fine. And my arsehole's never been cleaner. You know? Now, the thing I found out recently, they really will do like fun runs for anything now. You know? I saw this place in Coventry that was doing a fun run for obesity. Which, if you think about it, is the only disease you can cure with a fun run. actually found out that it was super effective. You know, the fun run was super effective. Found out after the fun run that obesity rates had fell by 40% because a bunch of fat people died during the race. I really like that joke. Have we got any weed smokers in tonight? Did you hear the delay on that, by the way? A lot of people will tell you, I found out, like, a friend of mine told me recently that smoking weed causes brain cell death. So I looked it up. It's actually a myth that's based on an experiment they did in the 60s, where they're going to give these rhesus monkeys like 3 joints worth of weed a day over the course of a month and then measure the effects. What they actually did, for 8 hours a day, over a year, they just strapped a mask to the monkey's face and just fucking pump smoke in its lungs. And at the end of it, they were like, what does weed do? And they were like, look, the monkeys are fucked, right? And it was just because they couldn't breathe, right? Which is the equivalent of me smothering an old woman, just... And then going, I think grandma's allergic to pillow. I was in Poundland recently. If you don't know what Poundland is, it's where people go to buy things and they spend all their money on heroin. When I'm in Poundland, I'm looking at this transgender security guard. Not because she's transgender, but because the name on the badge says Jamie Lee Curtis, like the actress, right? So I'm having that fantasy in my head that that's Jamie Lee Curtis, the actress, who's now a transgender security guard working in Poundland. And out of nowhere, this woman, this piece of shit woman, stepped in front of us in the queue, and she had a kid with her, right? And I don't know what it is about fat children. But they're just easier to hate, you know? Always got like sticky jam hands and fucking wads of dust all over their fucking... So anyway, I look up at the owner. I could tell that this woman was a piece of shit from the back of her head, right? And at one point she turned around and I was looking at Jamie Lee Curtis, so she says, "Can you believe that used to be a man?" I'm like, who the fuck are you to judge anyone? Who the fuck are you? Dragging around fucking Augustus Gloop everywhere. I didn't say anything, I just went, And then she said, "Can you believe that's a trend?" And just about everyone tells someone to go fuck herself, the little girl looks over at us and goes, "Hey! You're that guy from the train station." You having fun? Yeah! Okay, good. It won't last. I recently had a fortune cookie that came through. Does anyone have anyone else before? Yeah, I opened up inside and it said, "You're about to eat a very disappointing tasting cookie." Started doing yoga recently. Anyone here do yoga? Yeah, you do yoga? I feel like I'm talking to you about, do you do everything? Is that... What's your favorite position? And then you can tell us what your favorite yoga position is. I think I'm really starting to get the hang of yoga. You know, I'm really starting to understand it. Like I haven't lost a game so far. You know. But to be honest with you, when I do yoga, it's normally in my front room with like the curtains drawn and the structure on the TV. Because I grew up on like a council estate, so like have a really hard time opening up my chakras, you know. I just can't take my yoga teacher seriously, which is It's like, just open up your heart space, let the positive energy flow in. Just say to yourself, you are powerful. And I'm like, motherfucker, you don't know how I grew up. You know? You don't know that when I was growing up, I remember getting called gay, right? Because I didn't have any pubes. Those 10-year-old wasn't supposed to have pubes, you know? It's a horrible thing for your parents to say to you, you know? Are any fans of Dungeons and Dragons in tonight? Couple people, nice. They're usually here alone. I fucking love Dungeons and Dragons, right? If you know what Dungeons and Dragons is, it's a fantasy role-playing game where the outcome of your decisions is determined by a die roll. So you would like decide what you're going to do. You get a 20-sided dice and you roll it, and then no girl ever touches your dick again. I have a phobia of 1p and 2p coins. I don't like them. I don't like the way they smell. I was at a bar recently with a friend of mine who knows this. When I got to go to the bathroom, he put a handful of change into my drink because he's a cunt. But I know that my friend has a phobia of penises. Right? So when he got up to go to the bathroom, I killed his family. You can probably tell I'm a little bit fucked up. Anyone else here a little bit fucked up? You're a little bit too fucked up over here. I know I'm fucked up. I saw a video recently of a woman smoking a cigarette with her vagina. Right? And it was clear that this woman had done this before. And that was clear because she was able to like flick the ash off the end of the cigarette, like blow smoke rings and stuff. But here's how I know that I'm fucked up, right? Here's how I'm fucked up. So when I saw that video, my first thought wasn't, oh, this is terrible, I should stop watching this immediately. My first thought was, do you think if she stops smoking, she has to teach that thing to chew the gum instead, you know? Any other smokers in, vaginal or otherwise? Give me a wheeze if your lungs can manage it. They say that secondhand smoke can kill, right? Which is why I stopped buying my cigarettes on eBay. You know? now I can smoke around my kids all I want. You know, it's a joke. I don't have any kids anymore. I'm a middle child. We got any other middle children in tonight? You hear how sad and ignored that was? That is pretty. I'm a middle child. Can I just ask one of the middle children? Do you think that your parents love you all the same? No. Yeah, my parents tell me they love us all equally, and I think it's bullshit. Like, for example, like when my older brother was born, they decided to have him christened because they wanted, his soul to go to the thing or whatever, right? And then I was born, and my parents decided not to have us christened, which means they looked at us and went, I don't think we should take this one to heaven. Well, is it like a luggage allowance? Like, what's the... What they don't know is that a couple of weeks ago, I actually got christened in secret. That's right. And I don't know if there is an afterlife, right? But if there is one, I'm going to spend my fucking ruining days. I'm so petty about it. Someone's going to have to break it to my sister. She's going to burn in hell alone. That's... Middle child. We got any only children in tonight? Anybody who's an only child? A couple of people? Yeah. You see how self-centered that was? Do you hear? Yeah, my girlfriend is an only child, right? And there's certain things that you learn when you have siblings that you don't know if you're an only child. You haven't had that experience. Like for example, when I think back to like a family holiday, and my older brother would ask me like, "Do you want to go play in the pool?" What that actually meant was that he was going to try and drown me. And then when I asked my little sister, "Would you like to play in the pool?" I was going to drown her. But my girlfriend, she's an only child, so she hasn't had that experience. She doesn't know what playing in the pool means. First time we ever went on holiday, we had a private pool. And my girlfriend, she came up to me and she was like, "Hey, I can't wait to play in the pool with you later on." Because in her head, we were going to swim about, throw a ball around, kiss, smooch, cuddle, stuff like that. And I remember saying back to her, you know, I can't wait to play in the pool with you either. Because in my head, I was like, I'm going to fucking dominate. There is no... So you can imagine her surprise. First time she got in the pool, and I immediately and without hesitation fucking push her head under the water. And I held it there for like a while. Like long enough to make the joke land, you know what I mean? And I remember when I let her back up, she was all annoyed, I remember getting annoyed at her for being annoyed. Because in my head I was like, you know, like, you are the one that asked me to play in the pool. And now you're getting upset because I'm trying to drown you a little bit? What's the... So I just drowned her. That was the... Yeah, man. I'm from Camden. I live in Newcastle. Anybody here from Newcastle? Yeah. Anybody else who's not from Newcastle? Couple of people. I like Newcastle. We have certain things we say in Newcastle that we don't really say anywhere else. You know, things that you don't really say when you go down south. For example, the word "spelt." Anyone hear the word "spelt" before? Yeah. If you go further south, they call that a splinter. You know, it's a splinter. We have things like we say like "that's dead canny." You know, if you go further south, that means like "jolly good." You know. Another thing that we say, "you fucking lying sack of fucking dog shit," which is, if you go down south, that's the Tory party. That's what that is. Take that, politics. I'm trying to be a better person. I'm trying to be a better person. I recently donated blood for the first time. I don't know whose it was, but they're going to be... I think that your algorithm in the videos and posts that suggests feed says a lot about you as a person. You know, like for example, my algorithm thinks I'm a pervert. Seriously, my algorithm, it sends me nothing but thirst traps. Give me a cheer if you know what a thirst trap is. If you don't know what a thirst trap is, it's when like a girl will do like a video, like a sexy dance to try and lure you to her page so she can sell you shit, you know, like protein shakes and pictures of her feet, you know, stuff like that. And those protein shakes are disgusting, you know what I mean? You ever try and trick your algorithm into thinking you're a good person? I did that. I spent a full day liking nothing but puppies and dog videos, like the whole thing. And then it lasted for about 2 days until it was back to like women doing sexy dances again. But now they're all dressed like dogs. What I'm trying to say is I have a new fetish, is what I'm saying. And one thing that really pisses me off is when I see like young kids using vape pens. Does that annoy anyone else? Yeah. The thing is, I never ever do anything about it. I never do it, except from this one time. I was coming home from a gig late one night. As I'm heading over the bridge, I see a kid who's got one of these vape pens. And I don't know why, but I just stopped and said, "Listen, I know it's none of my business or anything, and I'm not trying to be a dick, but I'm just saying you shouldn't use those things at that age. You'll use them when you only become dependent on them. They're really not good for you. I know it's not my business." You know? And the kid looked back at us and went, "Fuck off, you ginger prick." So I like lost my shit, right? I grabbed the thing out of his hand and I threw it over the bridge. But here's the thing, right? I didn't realize the mistake I'd made until he started having an asthma attack. That's a good joke. Anyone here with a dog? In the chair? Dog? I got a new dog recently. One thing I learned about a new dog is she fucking hates bonfire night. You know, like the fireworks like drive her crazy. So what I think I'm going to do next year, right, is I'm going to set them off outside. One thing me and my girlfriend do spend a lot of time doing is watching TV shows and movies and stuff. The only thing that we spend more time doing is picking things to watch, like movies and TV shows. And she's here tonight and she's been great, so please give me a round. This first song is dedicated to her. Baby, I love you, but you better take something quick. We spent 30 fucking minutes just looking through Netflix. You say you don't really mind what we put on, but my past 50 suggestions would suggest that you are wrong. Baby, I love you. You know it's true, but if you don't pick something quick, I'm gonna beat you to death with my shoe. Sometimes I have like really fucked up questions pop in my head. Anyone else have it? Yeah. I think the worst thing about fucked up questions is they always lead to more fucked up questions. Like the other day, I was rubbing my dog's belly. Yeah. And I had this thought that's probably popped in everybody's head, which is like, does this technically count as me playing with her nipples? I don't know. Like, I'm not like doing it on purpose, you know? I'm not. And then I had another fucked up question pop in my head, which was like, and if that is the case, is that why she likes it so much, you know? And also, why am I hard, you know? Everything's so fucking expensive now. Fucking energy bill went up 200%. Takes a piss, doesn't it? Takes a fucking piss. You know, the only thing my energy curve really like had to suggest for us, right, to combat this was to get a smart meter. Anyone else have a smart meter? Yeah. Like the only thing they can do to help is to give you something else that uses electricity. That's the only thing. You don't know what a smart meter is? It's like a little box, and it gives you like a live video display of your most up-to-date bill. And it's actually pretty accurate, because for the past 18 months, mine's just been showing like a looped clip of me getting fucked in the arse. Yeah, that's a good joke. You find out things about your parents when you get older, when they get older, that you didn't really want to know, you know? Does that happen to anyone else when you get older? Yeah. Like I found out a couple of years ago that when my dad was younger, he used to be a stripper. Isn't that right, Dad? Yes, right. Completely true. He used to be a stripper. Right. And to be honest, you know, I should have guessed. You know, my lunch money was always in scrumpled up yen. I love that joke because I get to see my dad sweat. Which is what Japanese businessmen like about him as well. Just so you know, we're filming here tonight, but it's only in the bathrooms, so you can... I was on a website recently looking up the signs of clinical depression, and I had 14 out of the 15 symptoms. The only one that I didn't have was problems with my period. I think I'm going to be fine, you know. Thinking about this the other day, you know, I don't think I could be a child murderer. Because I'm an adult now. See, I can sit there and joke upset a couple of people. And that's okay, honestly. When I first started doing comedy, it would really bother me if my jokes upset somebody or offend them. Because no, I'm trying to. I just want to make you all as happy as possible. And the best way that I know how to do that is by being a fucking dick, right? But I've been doing comedy for a while now, so I'll level with you. Like now, the look on someone's face when you say something that upsets them or offends them. It's the only thing that makes me come anymore. I saw an article recently that said 40% of women footballers receive unwanted attention from men during the game, which I thought was crazy, because I don't think anybody was watching women's football. Don't you all sit here and pretend you kept watching after the World Cup final? No, I know, all jokes aside, I actually think it's amazing. You know, I actually think that the increased visibility and funding that goes into women's sport is actually really great. Isn't it really great, you know? Actually, yeah. And I think that the women who won the World Cup did a lot to kind of push that forward, you know? Because now, it might not fix everything straight away, but now we have a whole new generation of young girls that can look up to these amazing athletes and say to themselves, hey, you know, maybe when I grow up, I can also be a lesbian. You guys hear about the two gay Premier League footballers who were in a relationship with each other? Yeah. Yeah, there was a Premier League team where there was two Premier League footballers who were in an openly gay relationship with her, and the whole squad is like, you know, complete. And I think it's amazing. Yeah, it's fucking amazing. And for me, like, it's good to see that you know, that's being represented within the sport. You know, there's people that have struggled and what have you. But I think that also. But when I actually think about it, right, I think it's great. But I actually think the idea of being in like a relationship with somebody, a long-term relationship with somebody, and also being on the Premier League team sounds like a fucking nightmare. You know, like I just imagine, like if I was in the same team as my girlfriend, I'd be standing there blocking somebody. You know, I just hear from across the pitch, "Oh, so you can get close to somebody." I actually think we should lean into it, you know. I think we should have a whole squad of people, all gay guys who are all fucking each other. That's what I think. Yeah, I do. And I'm not saying that we should find like a Premier League team and make them all fun. What I'm saying is that if you could find 18 semi-competent footballers who all wanted to fuck each other, and I've thought about this a lot. Well, they will crush the Premier League. You don't have no fucking... Because you can talk about goal bonuses and motivation, right? But there's no greater motivation than win, lose, or draw. You're going to get your dick sucked 17 times, you know? By a guy as well, you know? So it's actually good, you know? And then you get to suck 17 dicks, you know? And who doesn't love a free breakfast? It's not a... ruined the joke. I was out the other day, and I saw this all-you-can-eat vegan restaurant. You think of anything more pointless or stupid than an all-you-can-eat vegan restaurant? You know another name for an all-you-can-eat vegan restaurant? A field. That's what that is. Like, why are we building places for these freaks to meet? I don't understand. It would be like the case, an all-you-can-eat vegan restaurant, that'd be like if I invited you to an orgy and told you could fuck anybody that you wanted, anybody at all, and then you find out it's an old people's home. I was in a strip club this one time, and I was getting a dance, and then after the dance was done, I got a proposition. Said that if I wanted to, I could pay a little bit extra money, and I could get a hand job. Now, I'm just gonna put this up. Like, how much do you think a hand job from a stripper costs? Anybody? God, you're pretty cheap, Jesus. Fucking change that, right? Hand job, right? £250. £250 for a hand job. I just remember looking back. I remember just looking back and being like, Jesus Christ, Dad, you're not even going to give me a discount? It's not even... A lot of women say you can tell about how man makes love by the way they dances. Which is why whenever I dance with a woman, I always try and choke it up with my finger in her mouth. You do know how to hooky pokey with me. I don't give a fuck about chickens. I know a lot of people do give a fuck about the chickens, you know, the chickens that kept in cages and kept out me. I don't give a fuck about the chickens. It's not because I'm a bad person, you know, like I hate animal abuse. I hate anyone involved in animal abuse. I fucking hate it. Do you know what I hate more than animal abuse? Paying more than £4 for chicken. I don't know. You know, maybe when I'm rich enough I'll buy a happy chicken, you know. I'll get a chicken that lives a fulfilled and content life. I'll get a chicken that did a gap year in Thailand or a bungee jumping. Until I don't give a fuck about the chicken. And I'm vegan, which is weird. I think about like one of the coolest things about getting older, right, is you start to figure out what you do and don't like in the bedroom. You know, like I'll take my man here. Remind us of your name, my man? Abbott. Can I ask you how old are you? 37. Now here's the thing, right, about 37-year-old Abbott. Right? 37-year-old Abbott knows exactly what kind of fucked up, nasty shit that 36-year-old like Abbott likes. Am I right? Am I right? Yeah, he's not. He's there. Yeah. And what is it? One thing I figured out myself a few years ago, I was having sex with a woman. One thing I figured out myself is I hate to be called daddy in the bedroom. I think it's weird. I think it's off-putting. And if you ask me, I don't even think a kid should be in the room. Don't pretend you're not going to tell people that joke. I had diarrhea the other day. Anyone else had diarrhea before? Give me a cheer. I was away from home So I decided to go to Tesco to buy some anti-diarrhea tablets, right? But I made the mistake of putting it through in the self-scanner, not knowing that there was an age restriction on it. So I popped it through and the fucking light starts going off. And instead of the woman walking over to the kiosk to discreetly put through the thing that I bought, she decided to stand 15 foot away behind the till and just shout across Tesco, "What have you got in your basket?" So I went, she's like, "Sir, what do you have in your basket?" And again, I was just like, and then she goes, "Sir, why have you got in your..." And I didn't know what to do, so I just panicked. So I just took a shit in the bagging area. Talk about an unexpected item. It's not I have a habit of saying the wrong thing at the wrong time. Recently, my nana passed away. It's true, my nana passed away. We had to go to a humanist meeting about a week before the funeral. If you've never been to a humanist meeting, they essentially just talk about the person's life, get some stories, and they figure out what they want to do in the day in terms of like the actual funeral. Like my auntie was there, my uncle was there, my dad, my mum. Really, really emotional. Everyone's had a bit of a cry, And the one thing that they couldn't decide on was which picture to choose, which picture to use for the funeral. And they're all from 3 different eras of her life. So it was a bit of a tiebreak because everybody had different favourites. So my mum came up and asked us, like, "Listen, we can't decide. What do you think of these 3 pictures?" And what I said was, "This is the worst game of fuck, marry, kill I've ever played." What the fuck is wrong with me? I don't even know. Really happy to be here. I really am. I'm really lucky to be here, especially with fucking 200 people showed up to see this shit. Jesus. Especially after the whole COVID thing, It seemed like for a minute everybody was kidding. Like just even in this room, give me a cough if you've had COVID before. A couple of people, probably a couple more tomorrow, I'd imagine. I think one of the weirdest side effects of COVID is that it can affect your tastes. Like before COVID, like I was really into like spicy food, and now I'm like really into like black guys. I don't know. I didn't even get the virus. Weird. Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. When I was that broke, man, I couldn't picture this. 50-inch screen on a green leather sofa. Got to ride the limousine with the chauffeur. Is it me? Is it me? I have Biggie's lyrics aged fucking horribly. You know what I mean? And this guy, when I was growing up, was maybe the biggest gangster of all time. And he's like bragging about the fact he has a Super Nintendo. You know what I mean? Like, I just imagine him sitting at home. I just imagine him sitting at home being like, "Bitch, go and get me some Hennessy and a blunt and come back here and suck my dick." Finally given a temptation recently. Finally given a temptation and ate a silicone gel packet. Can't tell you if it's poisonous, but I haven't pissed in 3 weeks. That's my favourite joke, by the way. Anything late, like it's about kind of give and take. You take the good with the bad. Like this one time, I was at a sex show in Thailand, and part of the sex show was a woman who would come out with a clear bucket, like a transparent bucket full of water that she popped in front of her on the stage. And then to the beat of the music, she would stand about a yard away from the bucket and just fire fish out of the vagina into the bucket. And I want to be clear when I say fish, because that's a single and plural for the same thing. Multiple live fish into the bucket, right? And every so often, one wouldn't hit the bucket, it would just drop onto the floor, right? So she would have to waddle over, like while holding the rest of the school in. Pick the fish up and put it back in the thing. And that's when I realized the worst part of this whole thing, which was like, when they do this show again in an hour, they're not getting new fish, you know what I'm saying? These are the fish for at least tonight, right? And this is what I'm saying about life being, you know, the good with the bad. So yes, on one hand, was that traumatizing to see, and can I not look my own girlfriend's vagina in the face anymore? Sure, you know? But on the other hand, right, I now have the best idea for the next Finding Nemo movie. So Dory's going to see some shit she's going to remember. I'll tell you that. Give me a cheer if you've ever been to London before. I was in London recently doing some gigs for a few days, you know, and as I was coming back, I actually missed the train home, but it was like due like a train strike, like a rail strike thing, and I ran across London with my bag and my suitcase, and I got there and I was all panicked and sweaty. I didn't realize I'd missed my train by like a couple of minutes, you know, like just a couple of minutes. I looked down at my train line app and said that the next train was in 3 minutes, and the one after that was in 6 hours. So I don't even look, I just run towards the next train. I jump on, like I look down at my phone to go and like try and buy a ticket, and as I'm doing that, the doors close in front of this thing refreshes, and there's no tickets available. I'm on this fucking train now with no ticket. And as I'm having this kind of fucking mental breakdown, the ticket checker woman comes out, she asks us for the ticket, so I go on this whole rambling thing, you know, like the whole day I'm sweating and panicking, get at the end of this, and she looks at us and goes, "Hey, do you need a hug?" Seriously. And I hadn't realized until this time in my life, like, how long I'd been waiting for somebody to ask me that. So now I'm just hugging this 45-year-old woman on a train, right? She goes, "Listen, don't worry about it, there'll be a seat available, you just go and find the seat, I'll come deal with your ticket in a moment, don't worry about it," okay? So I go in the cabin, I find the seat, I see her coming down the aisle a little bit later on, I've got my card in my hand, ready to buy a ticket, and she comes up and she goes, "Listen, I've spoken to the train conductor, right? And we both agreed that everybody's had a day like this, so what we're going to do is we're just going to let you off with the ticket." Isn't that amazing, right? And I immediately started welling up on the train, packed train, eyes, and I've since analyzed why I reacted like that, why it was so emotional for me to react like that. And it's because if you haven't eaten in months and you're starving, right? And then someone gives you a big meal, if you try and eat all that, you'll feel sick because your body's just not used to it and it'll reject it, right? In the same way, if you've been in London for a couple of days, and you're confronted with basic human kindness, you also might have an emotional breakdown in front of strangers. Oh, well, what to not even be a return ticket, that's the worst part. Shit. When I was younger, I used to have a lot of friends. They were mainly snails. I had about 200 snails that I kept in a bucket in my garden, right? And one day the bucket filled up, I left it outside because it rained, the bucket filled up in the rain. And they all died. So I had to pour them into a drain outside my house. And the only way I can describe to you like how dramatic that is give me a cheer if you've seen the movie Schindler's List before. If you haven't seen the movie, it's set in World War II, and it's about the Nazis and the Jews who had a disagreement. And there's a scene in that movie where the Nazis are dumping like a truckload of dead bodies into a mass grave. And that's exactly how I felt when I was dumping this bucket full of my friends down a drain. Because to me, they weren't just snails, you know, these are my friends. To me, this was more like a mollusk cost, you know? That's my my favourite joke that only 30% of people understand. Is to really appreciate that joke, you have to A, like Holocaust jokes, and B, know what a mollusk is. Got a couple, that's okay. You guys ever heard of an orgasmic birth? You ever heard of this before? An orgasmic birth? Mitchie, have you ever heard of this before? No, I'll tell you. So this is a procedure to do, right? That like when you go to the hospital and the baby's coming, so is the woman. That's this is procedure, and what I figured out, right, is that that in my head I thought about a lot, and I think that they can't do it by hand, surely. You know, it can't be a manual thing because actually, to be fair, it has to be by hand. Because they couldn't use a vibrator that close to a baby's head, surely, you know? You end up turning the setting up too high, and now your kid's born with a wonky eye. Like, it's not like... And from what I can tell, this is a very common procedure in Sunderland. I think it's... we got anybody in a couple tonight? Let me check if you're in a couple tonight. My girlfriend, she keeps telling me that I don't know where the G-spot is, which is ridiculous because it's really not that mysterious or hard to find. You know, it's like 1.5 inches up inside my asshole. I stopped watching porn recently. I stopped watching porn because I think it creates unrealistic expectations that my girlfriend's never going to be able to keep up with. Like, it's completely unfair for me to expect her to have a dick. That's not... Especially a black one. That's not... So listen, I'm going to be signing things after the show. And there's nothing you can do to stop me. But just before I go, would you guys like to hear one more song? So listen, this last song here, it's kind of written to bring people together, you know. And I'll let you know as well that there is also kind of like a sing-along bit near the end. Feel free to join in. I don't fucking, whatever. But thank you all so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. Some people suck titties. Oh, and some people suck balls. Some people like a big old dick. Some like to lick buttholes. Some people pick pussy. Oh, and some people prefer feet. Some people wanna fuck their step-siblings. Keep it in their family. Some people like big girls and some like them old. Some people fuck people in wheelchairs. That's just the way they roll. Some people are in their amputees, and who am I to judge? Although I'll never understand the appeal, yeah, it's really got me stumped. Some people like poop, and some people like pee. Some people say some people when they secretly meet me. When you really think about it, when all is said and done, it doesn't matter who you are, 'cause everybody just wants somebody else's company. Come now, sing along, 'cause everybody just wants somebody nice. What did you put in my butt? 'Cause it kind of felt nice. And don't you ever yuck somebody else's yum. Because everybody just wants somebody else's hot, frothy, sticky, gross smelling. Everybody?